Can you trust your heart? Not just around relationships and love, but about all decisions you need to make. Does your mind really know better? That is the question we're going to talk about today. Hello, my name is Dom, and I help people step into their truth and power. Does your mind really know better? Why is it so hard for some of us to trust our heart? Share in the comments below. Why is it hard for you to trust your heart? Share in the comments below. I want to know. Do you even know what your heart wants for you? Some of us, we've spent so much time in our mind, and our mind has been so loud that we've never even considered what our heart may have to say. Our mind has literally been shouting over our heart. Our heart doesn't shout. It communicates with us in soft whispers and inner promptings. Some people call this their inner spirit. Others call it the Holy Spirit. Others refer to it as their intuition. But in all cases, it's a communication that doesn't necessarily come from our headspace, but more from the core of our being. It's not logic-based at all. It's like a divine knowing or certainty from within, or a truth, if you will. For so many years, I had an inner prompting to change careers to become a coach. And when my mind got a hold of this, it drummed up all of these questions. Well, what about this? And what about that? And how are you going to do this? And how are you going to do that? And because I couldn't answer those questions, overwhelm kicked in. And I convinced myself that I couldn't do it because I didn't know how. Well, that's the paradox of all of this. When we're following our heart, more often than not, we're not going to know the how. You see, the how is revealed after you say yes to your heart. And it doesn't reveal the big grand plan of all the steps that you need to take, but it reveals them one step at a time. Most times, we know what we need to do to take the next step, but our mind stops us. Because we don't have the rest of the plan figured out. We don't have all the questions answered. It bombards us with what if scenarios. What if this happens or what if that happens? Which then often drives up fear. And because our mind's intention is a good intention, it wants to keep us safe, we stay stuck in the muck of whatever experience we're wanting to change. But what I've discovered is that those heart promptings are actually divine communications coming through. I need to pay attention to them. I need to make time to listen to them. And when I receive them, I need to follow them, even if I don't know the how. This is why in spirituality and in religious practices, the journey is referred to be a faith walk. It's a process of mastering your mind in a way that doesn't keep you stuck in your past or in fear of your future, but keeps you in your mind, in your present mind, just focused on that next step that you need to take, and taking guidance from your heart, your inner spirit voice or intuition for the next step, and then the next step. Now, I will say, some of the things my inner spirit voice has told me to do sent my mind into overdrive with thoughts of like, no way, I can't do that. What will they think? And once again, created insecurity and fear. But every time I followed through anyway, every single time, I had an amazing experience. There is one experience that I had about 12 years ago that I call the coffee pot story. And it's a cool story. I woke up one morning and I was running late for work and I made my coffee and the coffee pot didn't work. So naturally, I was not exactly the most chipper person because now I'm running really far behind to get to work because now I had to stop someplace to get coffee. So on my way to work, I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts and I pull up to the store, and this particular Dunkin' Donuts had a lot of glass in the front of the store that I could see through as I walked up to the store. And so as I walked up to the store, there was a man sitting inside at a table with 4 other men. And as I was walking up to the store, it's like we caught each other's attention. And there was like some sort of connection there that it's just really hard to explain. I never met the man before, never seen him before. But as I walked in, I was standing online to order my coffee, and I had this feeling within God. I know that God was speaking to me, and it came from like the core of my being and said, you need to go over and tell him that he needs to keep doing what he's doing. Now, I thought to myself, I can't do that. Like, what are those guys going to think? Like, they're going to think like I'm a freaking Fruit Loop. I had no idea what they were talking about. I didn't know what they were doing. And so now I got into it. I'm waiting for my coffee. I'm like having this inner argument between what my heart is leading me to do and what my head is telling me that I can't do. And so I get my coffee and I go over to the area where, you put your sugar and all that stuff in your coffee. And I'm just stirring my coffee, and I'm stirring and I'm going back and forth. It's like, I know I need to follow my heart, but I'm in fear of what these guys are going to think. So I'm standing there, I'm stirring and stirring and stirring. And finally I worked up the inner courage to go over. And so I walk over to the table and I say to the man, excuse me, something inside of me is telling me that I need to tell you that you need to keep doing what you're doing. And he looked, and the four guys looked, and their eyes got really big. And the man got choked up. And he said, you have no idea what that means. He said, thank you. And I said, you're welcome. And I left with my coffee. And so the strange thing is, the next morning I get up, I try the coffee pot, and it works. Awesome. So I get in my car and I go to work, and I'm listening to the radio, and it's a local Christian radio station. And the owner of the radio station comes on, and he's sharing this story where the day before he was in a coffee shop with three men. They're doing the men's ministry kind of thing. And they're talking about it. And they started off with a prayer asking for guidance on whether they should continue doing what they're doing or take a different path or just not do it at all. And suddenly, as they were working on their plans, a man came into Dunkin' Donuts and told them that they needed to keep doing what they were doing. Of course, that was me. And I'm hearing him share the experience on the radio, and he was just completely dumb. They were all dumbfounded by how quick they received their answer. I was shocked. I could not believe what I was hearing on the radio. And I was even more shocked that it was him, because I loved listening to him on the radio. Now, what I can't get over is like that experience happened because I followed through. I stepped into my courage and followed through on where my heart was leading me, in spite of what those men could have possibly thought. None of this would have happened. And what an amazing experience, not just for me, but for them, all the way around, to be able to witness and be a part of an experience like that. And so that was one of the very first experiences where I learned that our heart never leads us off a cliff. And when it seemingly is, you can trust that it has your back. It's taking you towards an experience that you need to have in order to grow into who you need to become to feel true, real happiness from within. And so being a worship leader for so many years and now a certified master coach, I've learned many ways to not only connect to that inner spirit within, but also learn how to trust it. So I'm not experiencing so much fear in the things it's asking me to do. Would it be helpful for you to learn some of those ways? If it would, I'd like to invite you to a brand new online workshop I created called Feeling the Force Within. I'll be hosting it on Tuesday, April 27th, 2021 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. And in that online workshop, I'm going to share with you 9 benefits to having a developed relationship with your inner force spirit or intuition, as well as 7 powerful ways you can practice developing it. It'll be held in an online Zoom room and will last for about 45 to 60 minutes. It's a free online workshop, so of course it's free to register, and the link to register and sign up is in the comments below, so go check it out. And so I'm curious, what are you taking from this video today? What nugget of wisdom? Share in the comments below and let me know. I want to be able to continue to support you and empower you. And so until I connect with you again for my next video, stay well, stay healthy, and stay empowered.